This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather Ho, there's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome me to another Sports Catastrophe on this date. And on this day, October the 6th, in the year 1993, the basketball world was shocked. Obviously, as you can see by the Sports Illustrated cover, it's about MJ leaving basketball. A lot of things happened, but let's give you a little bit of context. So Michael Jordan was this hot shot from North Carolina. People remember he got the winning basket in the 1982 NCAA tournament final game with North Carolina versus Georgetown. Of course, everyone remembers the Sleepy Floyd errant pass to the wrong team, which clinched it for North Carolina. But still, MJ made the winning shot. MJ, and then he was a freshman. He spent a few more years with North Carolina, was part of the famous 1984 basketball draft that had some great names, and both Houston and Portland passed on him. Houston had the number one pick, and they took Hakeem Olajuwon. Okay, fine, you get a center from the University of Houston. No big deal. And then Portland, who had Indiana's pick, got to go second, and they took Sam Bowie, a center from Kentucky, who was supposed to be good. But the problem was with Bowie is that he missed 2 seasons of NCAA play because of his injuries. That should have been a red flag right off the bat. Worst of all, the Bulls went third and took MJ from North Carolina, and he was a superstar. Great rookie of the year. He did have a massive injury in his second season, which almost cost him the 86 season. But thankfully, he came back in time for the 86 playoffs and helped put up 63 points in a playoff game against the Boston Celtics, albeit in double overtime and albeit in a loss. But still, MJ was being huge. Gatorade and Nike giving him big contracts, winning the 1987 and 88 slam dunk competitions, the shot over Craig Elo in the 1989 playoffs, getting the Bulls to back-to-back-to-back titles for 91, 92, and 93, just pulling it out. And then just a day before the White Sox were ready to host the Game 1 of the ALCS against the Toronto Blue Jays, in what would be the White Sox first postseason trip in 10 years, and they would face the defending World Series champion, Blue Jays, at Comiskey. Things fell apart. MJ called a press conference at the Chicago Bulls facility and announced that he was stepping down from the game. And it's like, the guy didn't even play 10 years in basketball and he's retiring? Why? It just didn't make sense. Why would someone at the top of his game, winning not one but 3 straight titles, would leave? Although it would actually be much more set in stone later on, the conspiracy theories about MJ's retirement. It wasn't really known all the time. Was he hurt? Did he have no motivation for basketball? Was there something else at play in his personal life? But we would know the personal life. MJ's personal life took a massive hit in this offseason of 93. Yes, the Bulls won their 3rd straight championship, and no, MJ did not hit the winning shot for that title. That was John Paxson. Still, the Bulls were on top of everything, and people thought they were going to be the next dynasty, probably be like the Celtics of the 1960s, winning 8 straight titles. But unfortunately for many people, MJ's motivation was really bad. Yes, he had a gambling problem. Yes, he was videotaped in an Atlantic City casino before Game 2 of the conference playoffs against the Knicks. Yes, he had a gambling problem and all that. He would lose money on golf games and all that. But the simple fact of why MJ retired was because he was missing the one key motivation. His dad, his father James Jordan, who would be a key contributor in helping MJ grow as a player and all that throughout high school. By being cut from the Laney High varsity team, he went to the junior squad. He would actually be kind of a team manager for the varsity squad, and then he grew 6 inches allegedly and played his heart out. in his senior season. But still, I mean, Yeah, James Jordan was a key guy. He would always sit behind the bench, the Bulls bench, and give MJ some advice. Unfortunately, though, James Jordan's time on Earth would be short-lived in July '93, when he was sleeping on the side of a road trying to get to a friend's wedding, and he didn't have time to go to a hotel, so he slept in his car on the side of the road. Unfortunately, two people had a crime of opportunity decide to take down James Jordan and steal the car and all that. Now, of course, it wasn't completely set in stone if those thugs knew that it was Michael Jordan's father, but still, I mean, when a Rolls Royce or whatever car James Jordan drove in a sleazy part of Carolina, which is kind of backwoods, if you will, you're gonna take a car. You want a fancy schmancy car and all that. So they did that, and the two guys who killed James Jordan got life sentences, which was perfect. But I mean, MJ was shocked. It took a while before the police finally told MJ that his father had died. They had to possibly identify James Jordan. They had to connect with MJ and his family, and Michael Jordan lost motivation. Losing your father in any kind of capacity, athlete or not, is hard and all that. And that ruins your motivation. It's like you're trying to appease your friends and colleagues, but all of a sudden it's like, what do I have to gain? Because a piece of me died, and that's what with MJ. I mean, personally, myself, losing my dad 2.5 years ago, it still hurts to this day, and I still am motivated to do my stuff and all that, but sometimes it just makes me wonder why I'm doing this. But I'm doing this for my own self worth and in fact, doing my stuff. But as is, you know, yeah, losing your father's hard. I mean, yeah, he had the gambling problem. Yeah, he had a few other things in his personal life that made him not want to play basketball, and he probably wanted to spend time with his kids. Fair enough. I don't mind that. But I mean, MJ was MJ, and the Bulls were shocked, and a lot of people were shocked. Maybe MJ purposely did this to take attention away from the White Sox in the ALCS. Spoiler alert: MJ did throw out the opening pitch at Game 1 of the ALCS game. And another spoiler: the Blue Jays ended up taking care of the White Sox in 6 games in the LCS on their way to their second straight World Series. But still, the Bulls weren't that bad without MJ. They were decent. The Bulls actually got to the conference semifinals and were one tip shot away from winning Game 6 in New York against the Knicks and putting the Bulls in the NBA semifinals against the Pacers. They still had Pippen. They still had Kukoc. They still had Bill Wennington. No, they didn't have Dennis Rodman yet, but still. MJ decided to do the one thing he wanted and honor his father by playing baseball because, his father wanted him to play baseball, even minor league baseball, while the basketball season was off. So anyway, MJ figured it was a good time to play baseball because he was decent in baseball. Unfortunately, though, in the minor leagues, he wasn't really that great. He went to Double A. He actually learned it. And people thought that MJ being an athlete, it would be stupid for MJ what he did. But MJ did the right thing. Like, MJ wanted to play baseball. He wanted to try it out. Yeah, he wasn't a good hitter in Double A, but he rode the bus with the rest of the team. He helped his teammates out. So, yeah, he's great. He didn't forget his teammates and the sacrifices and all that. And MJ actually went to Scottsdale to play Arizona fall baseball because he wanted to follow up and he wanted to learn. He wanted to do better. And people thought that, MJ tried it with Birmingham, of course, that's a double A affiliate of the White Sox, who are owned by Jerry Reinsdorf, who owns the Bulls. Yeah, MJ tried and all that. He did okay. but he wanted to get better. And the only reason why MJ left baseball, in a sense, was because baseball was now facing the possibility of using replacement players to start the 95 baseball season because there was no end in sight with the player strike and the owner strike. So, and MJ did not want to cross the picket line like everyone else. I mean, it would have been huge. Another key story about the replacement players was that the Blue Jays would have been hosed because if they had replacement players, they would have had to play their home games in Dundee and in Florida because Ontario law stated that you can't use strike breakers, if you will, or replacements or scabs for any reason. So anyhow, the Blue Jays, notwithstanding, MJ didn't want to cross the picket line, and that was admirable. He did the right thing, and then he found his motivation for basketball and faxed the NBA the famous two-word statement, "I'm back." He led the Bulls to the conference semifinals against the Magic. Orlando beat them in 6, which probably would have been the opposite direction if MJ had played the full season for the Bulls. He came back to basketball and helped the Bulls win another three-peat in 96, 97, 98. And MJ cried unashamedly after winning his fourth title, well, the title in 1996, because, his father, this was his first title with his father not around. It was on Father's Day, too. So, yeah, MJ's motivation, like his father died. And he wanted to honor his father by playing minor league baseball. There's nothing wrong with that. And he wanted to stick it out. And he didn't act like a hotshot guy like he seems to be. But no, he was good. He was a decent guy. I mean, losing a parent is hard in any capacity, much less being an athlete, but still, it's hard to believe. But yeah, MJ came back to basketball after all, so can't blame him for that. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.